Every year it's a good idea to do some routine maintenance to your air conditioning compressor and your system, of course. Outside where the compressor is, there's some things that I do pretty regularly, and there's a couple of things that I do to extend the life of the compressor itself. All of this stuff works together to help your system perform well overall. The first thing I do when I'm ready to service my system is pull my disconnect plug from the disconnect box, and then I close the box up. Some people may have a toggle switch in there or a circuit breaker that's rated for heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration. So pull that and put it somewhere else. I just put that there for the purposes of illustration. You can see the damp stucco there. I just washed this off. But before I do that, I'd like to share with you the idea of replacing the startup capacitor and the relay. Startup/run capacitors do wear out. They get weaker and lose their oomph over time. Same with relays. Relays, the on and off creates arcing, and the deposits from the arcing can damage the contacts. Your unit has a life expectancy, let's say 25 years. Replace it at half of that, and then you don't have to worry about it. A lot of people wait till the relays go bad or their run startup capacitors go bad. Don't do that. Do it preemptively. You will thank yourself later. They are not that expensive. There's videos on YouTube about how to replace those. Watch the videos, use that guidance for your unit, and replace those preemptively. Don't wait. You won't be sorry. They don't cost that much. If you're not comfortable going in there, back in this service area, maybe physical reasons or just that you're not comfortable with doing the work, then just hire somebody to do it. You can get the specs for your unit by the information plate here. So I totally recommend doing that. Don't wait too long. If you're running your air conditioning a lot, if you're someone that just keeps it at the lowest possible temperature, then you may want to do it sooner. So once I do all that work and I get everything buttoned up, replacing the startup capacitor / run capacitor and the relays, the startup relays, then I clean the unit. So I want all of the electrical work to be done. Then I blow the unit out with my leaf blower. I just blow any loose stuff away from the outside of the unit, and then I go down from the top and I just blow stuff out, any kind of loose dust and dirt and leaves, and then I drag my hose over here and hose everything off really well. You can see that the paint on this isn't so bad. That's because I repainted this unit. These little 1/4-inch screws come out, and then you can take this wire frame off. Starting to develop rust, then you want to take this frame off and set it on a tarp, hit it both sides, front and back, with rust converting spray paint, and then go back over it with your matching finish color. Once you take this frame off, then it's a pretty easy thing to do to mask off your coils here. And one of the things that I do once I get this frame off is I use a coil comb. I'm really careful with this because this is an old unit, so you can see how there's some that are still smashed. I don't force the situation here. I just try to straighten it out as best as possible. The older the unit gets, I'm going to try to find an example here, the more apt you are to have some disintegration of these coils. So if you have some coils that the coil fins, I'm trying to say coil fins here. So if you have some disintegration of these coil fins and it gets really bad, that does affect the unit. But some smashed coil fins are to be expected. I've had this unit for a long time, and for the life of me, there is no explanation as to how these got smashed. I mean, you go to houses where kids are kicking balls up against a unit, or I don't know. dogs pee on them and disintegrate them and stuff like that. And so just keep this whole coil situation as free-flowing as possible and as clean as possible. Once I do that, I check the insulation around my lines. Now, I've added this one. This is, yeah, that's a pool noodle. I added that one just sort of as an experiment this year to help keep all this together. But I just wrap all this stuff up and make sure the sun isn't beating on it, and making sure that the ambient heat, the meteorological heat, isn't affecting the refrigerant, and it's just able to go back into the insulated line up into the evaporator coil inside. So this is something that disintegrates pretty rapidly. If you have the black foam and you grab it with your hand and it just turns to dust or mush or whatever, comes apart, then just think about replacing it. And then I use aluminum tape to cover it, as you can see. I think there was just a little gap or something there, and I just put that pool noodle over there and I think, oh, let's see how long this thing actually lasts. So that's kind of it. And then what's going to happen last is that I'll put my disconnect back into the disconnect box, and then I will put a cover over this unit because I'm not going to use it all winter, and I'm just going to keep that junk and dust and stuff out of this compressor for the winter time. So when the summer comes, I'll just pull the cover off and it'll be ready to go.